everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a no spend January review. I will link my video all about why we have done no spend January up at the top, so you can check that out first. So today I'm going to be letting you know how much money we saved in January 2021. So if you're interested in finding out that figure, then watch until the end. I think this month has been pretty successful for us, so hopefully you find this video interesting. Don't forget to give it a like if you do, and comment down below how your no spend January went. You can also subscribe so that you don't miss a video that I upload, and you can hit the bell, which will give you a notification each time I upload a new video. So let's get on with the video. So first of all, a little recap on what we actually did. So in No Spend January, we said no to takeaways, we said no to any purchases that we didn't need to make, basically. We still bought food, but we tried to spend as little as possible on that, and we still obviously paid our bills and any monthly subscriptions and things that we couldn't cancel. So basically I've reviewed our budget now into February, so happy February everyone. I've reviewed our budget for last month, and I'm going to be giving you the figures for how much we've saved, and also evaluating how well we did at No Spend January. So firstly, I'm going to tell you how much we budgeted for this month. So we have our usual bills and things, which I won't go into because they had to be paid either way, so that doesn't really affect things. But we had four main categories of variable spending. So in our budget we have our fixed expenses and our variable expenses, and our variable things are things that can change each month, things that we spend off of our card, our debit card, whereas the fixed expenses are things such as gas and electric, rent, things that don't really change and they come straight out of our bills account, so the money goes in there and then we don't notice it going, really, it just does. So the first thing in our variable expenses is groceries. Now we budget £200 a month for this, and we decided to leave the budget the same but just see how much less we could spend. So our budget is a bit strange, but it goes from the 6th to the 6th. So it's still a month, but it's not the 1st to the 1st, just because of the way that our money comes in and the dates that our income goes into our bank accounts. That just makes most sense for us, so that we have all of the money that we need to go into the various accounts. We can budget it all at once. And left in this budget at the end of the month, we have £18.55, which means that we spent just over £180. This was spread across weekly shops. I can't remember exactly how many shops we did. So we used the word groceries in our budget because that accounts for food, washing powder, cleaning products, toiletries, basically covers everything that we need. Because we often will buy the same things in the same shop, we didn't want to have to go through receipts afterwards, so we just have one grocery budget and that covers everything. So the next thing is petrol. So we budgeted £40, which is roughly a full tank, and we spent £0 on petrol this month. I mean, lockdown did help that, and the fact that we were isolating with COVID for the first part of the month. But yeah, we haven't bought any petrol. However, we are moving house this month, February, so that petrol will go towards the moving costs. And the next thing on our budget is cleaner. And so we got a cleaner a few months ago when I was basically struggling to do everything in the house and entertain Luna and things like that. So we got a cleaner. She only comes every other week, so twice a month, for a couple of hours at a time. And as well as her cleaning the house, it also means that me and Luna get out for a couple of hours for a walk. Luna usually has a nap, and then we come back and the house is clean, so it's really, really nice. But because we were isolating with COVID at the beginning of this month, we actually only had the cleaner coming once. So we budgeted £50 and we only spent 25 of it. So that's £25 in the savings pot. And the final thing was our backup budget. So every month we have a backup amount, which is for like unexpected things that we didn't know were going to come up. So I'll tell you what we spent out of that. We budgeted £50. Now, a lot of it was spent in B&Q. I know I made a reference to Pete spending in B&Q in our last shop. He works in B&Q, so quite often he'll like bring things home, especially if he's seen them cheap or on clearance or whatever. So that was one of our aims, actually, was for him to do that less, and actually he has done really well. So he only went shopping in B&Q twice, and so the first one was bin bags, which we needed and they were a good price, and paint, which we needed because where we're moving we just wanted to touch up the paint a little bit, where there's marks on the walls, where we're taking down shelves that we've put up before we leave and things like that. So we needed that paint, and it was on clearance, so it was a lot cheaper than we expected it to be, so I'm happy with that cost. And that was £6.12. And then the other time that he went was to get mould and mildew spray, and this was well worth the money. It may sound expensive. It was £3.98, which to me seems like, oh my goodness, it's only a spray, it's only for cleaning, we could just use anything. But so this spray is amazing. It's apparently called HG Mould Spray, I think. I'll try and find it and link it below if I find it. But yeah, they sell it in B&Q, and it's literally like, we've used mould and mildew sprays before if we've had like mould, like where we rent, sometimes there's a little bit of mould, especially in the winter with the condensation and things like that. Particularly in our old house, but nothing really worked. But this, literally, you could see the mould like going down the wall. Like, anyway, that's completely off topic, but it's so good, so it was worth the just under £4 that we paid for it, so I don't mind that. The other two things that I spent out of the backup budget, one of them was me and my friends were teaming together to buy a treat for a friend, and she had bought all the stuff to treat our friend, and she just wanted us to pay her back our cut of it. So I just paid that back, no problem. That was just over £6. So yeah, that's that. And then the final thing was I needed a prescription, and I literally, because Luna is 15 months old, until she was 12 months old I got free prescriptions, and so like I got used to that. I got used to having the free prescriptions, and when Pete went to get the prescription and it was like £9 or £10, I was like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money, but that's how much prescriptions are, so can't really do anything about it. So yeah, I got my prescription, and that was the final thing that came out. So out of the £50 that we budgeted for our backup budget, we spent a total of £26.43. Which I think is quite good. That's half of the backup budget. Obviously I expected to spend nothing, so it's slightly disappointing, but I'm just glad that we put that money in place. Otherwise, where would that money have come from? It would have had to come from one of the other budgets. I mean, it probably would have just come from petrol or something, but yeah, so I'm glad that we put that budget in. It's basically just a fallback if we need it for anything, and we will continue to do that each month. Cool, so in total from those 4 budget areas, the groceries, the petrol, the backup and the cleaner, we saved a total of £107.12. So that's only a small part of our savings, because when we sat down and did our budget at the beginning of the month, we budgeted everything that we needed to budget for this month, and the rest of the money, because we work off, I think they call it a zero-based budget system. So basically you put in your income and then your outgoings and then your savings. So at the end of the month, at the end of the budget, you have £0 and 0 pence is the aim, basically. So yeah, we do that budget system, and this month we decided to put our savings into 3 different savings categories. So the first one is car maintenance, which is saving for insurance, saving for tax, saving for MOT and service, and anything else that comes up on the car that needs maintaining. So yeah, any basically unexpected costs. So that comes under that, and we decided to put £143 into that account. And the next one is Christmas 2021. Now I know it's only February, but we start saving at the beginning of the year for Christmas. Last year we did this and it was just a stress-free experience in terms of Christmas shopping. So we're definitely doing it again. I've come up with a budget which is slightly more expensive than last year. I think we're wanting to buy gifts for a few other people, and also hopefully by next year we'll be able to actually see people, which might involve spending a bit more on things like petrol and things like that. So we've put aside £58.33 for that budget for this month. That amount will increase because we're moving house this month. We're not putting any money into savings, so months after that we will be putting more than around £60 into savings for our Christmas fund to make sure that we have the money that we need at the end of the month to pay for Christmas. And the final thing is our moving budget. Now, because we're moving this month, February, we will be putting this moving budget into our budget. We'll be incorporating it into February's budget because we'll be doing moving spending, like paying for a van and things like that. So basically we want the moving budget to just cover everything, all moving costs. So in total we put into the moving pot £207.32. That should cover a fair chunk of what we need to pay, and then the rest will just come out of normal wages and things like that. I think that's mainly why we haven't got any savings for February's budget, because a lot of it would have gone into the moving thing, but because we're moving sooner, it's not going into that, it's being paid straight into whatever moving expenses we have. So the grand total, the moment you've been waiting for, of money that we have saved in January 2021 with the no spend January is £515.77. So that's over £500 in savings, just because we didn't spend on things that we didn't need to. And I actually think that that's a great number. And I interact quite a lot with the low and no spend Instagram community. There's quite a lot of people that are on their financial journeys, and I follow them, and a lot of them, some of them save more than that, some of them save less than that in a month. Obviously everyone's on varying wages and varying amounts of disposable income, but to be able to put away over £500 in savings on a normal month when we're just being paid a normal amount of money, like we didn't get any extra income that month than normal, but we managed to save out of that £500. I just think that that's brilliant. So we will definitely be doing a no spend month again. Maybe not this month because we've got quite a lot to spend for like moving and things this month. Yeah, we will definitely be doing this again, especially when we need a boost in our savings. It was everything I expected, and it wasn't actually that difficult for me. I know there was a few times that we spent, but we had accounted for it in our budget, so I'm not too worried about those things. The things that we want to try and avoid is random spending where you look at your bank and you're like, I don't know why I'm in minus money. I don't know where that money is going to come from. But we knew where that money was coming from, so it was all good. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it or found it interesting, useful, helpful. It really, really helps me out. And the other thing that helps me out is if you comment. So why don't you comment below and let me know how your no spend month went, how much you saved, whether you did save anything at all, what you're saving towards, what are your savings goals for 2021. So yeah, you can also subscribe and hit the bell, which will send you a notification when I upload new videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.